All right, so we're going to look at a couple of multiplication problems. So we know anytime we multiply by 1, we always get that other number. So 4 times 1 is just going to be 4. And then 4 times 2, of course, is going to be 8. And then 4 times 8/4, if you're not sure what this is, just by looking at it, we can use our strategy for multiplying a whole number by a fraction. So 4 times 8 gives me 32. So that would be 32/4. And remember, if it helps you to think about putting a 1 here, we can turn any whole number into a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. So that would be 4 times 8 is 32, and then 1 times 4 is 4. And then 32 divided by 4 would give me 8. So these two are actually equal because 8/4 would be the same thing as 2. So I also could have, changed it to 2 before I multiplied. And then 4 times a half, that's going to give me 4/2, which I know that 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So notice what happened whenever we divided, or when we multiplied by half. Our number actually got smaller. Normally when we multiply, we think of our answer as getting bigger. And that's true when we multiply by a number that's greater than 1. Or, like even if it's written as a fraction, 8/4 is greater than 1. But whenever we multiply by a fraction that's less than 1, then our answer becomes less than the other number. So again, if we multiply by 1, we get that number. If we multiply by something that's greater than 1, a fraction greater than 1, then our answer is greater than our other factor. So in this case, the 4 was the number that stayed the same each time, and it got bigger until we multiplied by a number that was less than 1. So that, would work with any number. If I had, 200 times a half, I would expect my answer to be less than 200. And that is going to be the case here. So that would give me 200/2, which is 100. So, you can also just think about what is half of 200, and that would be 100. So when we're multiplying, I want you to remember that if you multiply by a fraction that's less than 1, then your answer is going to be less instead of more like you're used to seeing. So you can try out some of these, just multiply. I could do 5 times 1/3. So in that case, I know that my answer is going to be less than 5. So that gives me 5/3. And then whenever I work that out, 5 divided by 3, I know that that's going to be 1 2/3. So that is less than 5. And so again, if I wanted to write this as a fraction, the way that I did that, I took my answer and that became the whole number. The remainder is the numerator, and then the divisor is the denominator. So that's how you write whenever you have an improper fraction and you're changing it to a mixed number. All right, so you're going to have a few practice problems like this. And, if it just asks you if it's greater than 1 or greater than the other factor, if you're multiplying by a number greater than 1, then it's going to be. But if you're multiplying by a number less than 1, then it's going to be less than the other factor. So go ahead and work your practice problems on the Google form now.